I don't know. I mean, that narrative, the world's largest airdrop narrative, which is cool and an awesome idea. I mean, a guy that's way smarter than me thought of it. And it honestly, it could still play out. I mean, it is factual, like it was the world's largest airdrop, but in terms of it benefiting people and people coming across the chain, I mean, hey, we could still see that by the end of this cycle. I mean, that's when
We
things
could.
could get unbelievably interesting for
Yep.
PulseChain, and that would be cool. I guess my thing would also be like, who's to say that people wouldn't start just dubbing those meme coins? You know what I mean? Like, because frankly, like even some of them that have done well, like P Cult or P Link recently, like I saw somebody criticizing somebody else for being a DJ messing around with P Link the other day because it has like $2,000 of liquidity or something like that. So I mean, people kind of look at those from a meme coin perspective also now. Now I understand it, like it is the copy of a token of another chain that has value and yada yada, and it's not like the picture of a banana, but the market likes the picture of the banana.
Yeah.
So for me, it's one of those things where maybe it's not that interesting of a thing to say, but I just don't see the point in wishing something was. I mean, it's like, why is the sky blue? It's just, my dad used to say, wish in one hand, shit in the other, see which one
Right.
fills up first, and
Right.
to me, that's just like, what's the point of the hopium and the dreaming and wishing that everything was in those 4 core tokens and we were all already millionaires and stuff like that?
Sure.
It isn't what's happening. So
No, I
I'd
get
rather
it.
go with the flow,
And I don't think honestly, at this point, I don't think the adoption will come for those other tokens until ETH gas gets out of control.
Hmm.
And then people are going to be like, oh, hey, we could still play around because this is still much better priced over here. So
Right.
I think that honestly is what we have to wait for before PulseChain gets any kind of adoption from those other tokens.
Yeah. Let me ask you this angle of it, and we don't have to necessarily get personal with different people, but I think it's interesting because of the personalities and people are kind of going back and forth. And I want to say that I'll actually proceed this with this point. KG on that stream or space that we listened to on Sunday a little bit, you and I, he did a really good, and we're talking about Brother KG, the creator of the Internet Money Wallet. He had a space the other day with some people on, and he made a great point that like the infighting or like the passion about like meme coins, no meme coins, Tangang versus Atropa ecosystem, B Roots versus Too Spooky or Orange Gooey or whatever the hell. Even though like you can see that stuff on Twitter and it can ruin your day or put you in a bad mood or whatever, which is a reason that I don't like to be on there very often. One could argue, and actually, I don't even know that it is an argument. I think it is true that it is a sign of a strong ecosystem. Like, what you don't want is people not talking. And that is
Right.
happening on a lot more chains than PulseChain right now. Like there's a lot of chains where there is, you're just basically out in the desert right now.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that we have this, whether you call it fighting or drama or whatever you want to call it, the fact that we have that passion there and people are going back and forth, I think is great. And a lot of people lately have called out KDP because, she's basically the biggest, RH Homer, Maxi cheerleader for PulseChain, PulseX Hex, and everything like that there is, to her credit. And she's done a lot to grow the ecosystem and all that stuff. But she's like said positive things about Tangang, and then B Roots, I think, was saying negative things about her, and people were crapping on her for that and calling her a sellout and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm interested in your thoughts on that because it's interesting to see somebody like her when prices of PulseChain is finally down, and you're seeing what you just said, Ewok, like the Tangang community and them, all the things they're doing and kind of building trust and stuff like that. Getting somebody even like a KDP to come over. Now, if somebody can convince Crypto 7 to come over, that's what I want to see what that is. I want to see what that token is. But yeah, what do you make of that? I don't think Katie deserves, any hate or anything like that. But yeah, what do you make of all that?
I don't think she deserves any hate either. She's been, like you said, probably one of our best cheerleaders, the most bullish all the time. No matter what was going on, she remained bullish. She remained in belief of what was happening and of Richard and what he was building and what he was doing and why the things were what they were. Yeah. And so what, it's like someone says something about this token, and then the other side comes at you because you didn't say anything about them. I think that's why the things happen. Obviously, B Roots is a polarizing person who likes the spotlight on himself and doesn't like it when the spotlight is on someone else.
Right.
So it's just it's to be expected from someone like that. You know, I'm personally not a fan of the way he does business or his whatever his private group. I'm not a fan of that type of thing because we all know what happens behind closed doors in groups like that.
Well, behind closed
Um,
doors, he's taking videos of him when he's in the
Self
shower
in the
now.
shower, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
so and just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't watch what's going on. I watch from the shadows a lot and just don't comment, don't say anything. Um, Probably have a little chuckle to myself and I move on. But yeah, I don't think she deserves any of that. Like I said, Katie's been a very steadfast believer of everything, and she's done great things, and she's grown her following like crazy. You know, so what can you say? You know, it's just it's yeah. I don't think it's right. I don't think she deserves any of that.
Yeah. Well, it is. Kudos to Brazology for at least making that poll because I think it really sparked a lot of good conversation. And
Sure.
I like PulseChain the way it is. I mean, yeah, I do agree. I'm kind of in the middle ground there. I would have loved it, obviously, if the core tokens had gone up more sooner. And we still had this other, these vibrant communities that are coming out of it. And I understand why some OGs and stuff like that are get pissed with like the Tang gang. Like I've heard spaces with Orange Gooey going on about, PulseChain being a failure so far and stuff like that. Like I understand, if that triggers people and stuff like that. But I would rather just take the market for what it is, go with the flow and benefit from it than wish things were one way or the other,
Yeah.
So
Well, just we know those guys bought in or sacrificed or whatever you want to call it. I don't think I've ever heard so many people FUD their own bags. Like,
mhm.
at least I think they're still holding. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they sold everything, and that's why they're happy to bash it. But for the most likely, if I had to take a guess, I would say they still hold a lot of the sacrifice tokens. So I just I don't understand why people FUD their bags. If you don't like something, don't talk about it, but you don't tear it down for other people to see. So just
Yeah.
my added 2 cents there.